Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live. Hope you're having a great start to your day. I certainly am, and hope you've had your vitamin C. Can't start your day without that. And good morning, good morning. We'll have a little roll call. And Kevin, how are you from Oshawa Nativity? And Jen from Cape Breton. And Brahim, how are you, my friend, from Portland, Oregon? Andrea from the Kidneys of Canada, Niagara Falls. Mary and Jane, good morning. Nick from our staff. And Carrie, Nebraska. Fran from Orangeville. Dear friends, you guys are unreal. Wendy, how are you, from Markham? Jeanette from Hearst, bonjour. Vanda from PEI. Morris, how are you? North Bay. Gary, Bolton. Sharon, Wyoming. Oh, I bet you it's beautiful out there. Alpine, Wyoming. Barbara from Kansas. Micheline, bonjour. Francis, Vaughn. Madeleine, good morning. Lenora, Temiskaming, Quebec. And Debbie, New Brunswick. Carolyn, Regina, good morning. Rose, Fort Lauderdale, nice to have you on with us. Edith, Jenny, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. Helga, good morning. Diane, Shediac, Nouveau Brunswick. Rhonda, and I missed one there from Catherine, Alberta. Elizabeth, good morning. Renee from Newfoundland. We love you. Nancy, sunny Iowa. IT, Unionville. And Betty Lynn from Brantford. Tracy and Elaine, Coleman, Ontario. Carol, West Virginia. Oh, I want to sing, Carol. You have no idea. Brian, Massachusetts. Sherry, Mississauga. Anne, good morning, Anne. St. Catharines. And Yolande, bonjour, friend. Do you know today is Yolande's birthday? I saw that this morning. And Judy, good morning. Sue, how are you? And Rita, good morning. Are you ready to go, guys? Janice from Brampton. Norma, good morning. And maybe two more, okay? Who's the next ones up on our hit parade? And Yolande is, Nicole is saying, Nick from our staff is saying, happy birthday to Yolande. Carol, you guys wish her a happy birthday. Robin, good morning. We appreciate you. Okay, now, I am going to read you this morning a statement from the World Health Organization. Guys, it's not surprising to us, my audience, this won't surprise you, but it's shocking nonetheless that the World Health Organization is finally cluing in. Okay? Finally cluing in. Let me read a statement from the World Health Organization. We'll talk about it for a minute. But it's something that you and I know. And you know what, guys? What it does for me, okay? What it does for me, it just reinforces. It reinforces the significance of what we are doing, okay? What we are doing. It just reinforces the significance. Listen to the statement, okay? According to the World Health Organization, chronic degenerative conditions, okay? Chronic degenerative conditions now represent the number one threat globally. The number one threat to our health globally is chronic degenerative conditions. Now, let me finish the statement. This means, for the first time in history, okay, more of us are losing our lives to chronic and largely, listen to this statement, largely preventable conditions than, okay, let me read that part to you again. This means, for the first time in history, in our history, human history, more of us are losing our lives to chronic and largely preventable diseases more than trauma, infectious disease, and even war. Guys, this is, you know, if you've been following me for a while, this is a blow your socks off statement. It blows your socks off. Hello? The world is cluing in to what you and I have been talking about. Chronic degenerative conditions, largely preventable. Okay? Largely preventable. Why? Because people are dying, and it's not war, although, you know, I'm sure millions of people die a year in war still. It's not infectious disease, and it's not trauma. Now we know what happened. The whole world, went absolutely insane over a virus. Okay? Now I'm not minimizing it. Okay? Don't come back at me and say, Dr. Martin, you know, COVID doesn't exist or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, and you guys heard me, if you've been following me, the elephant in the room. Do you remember that? Because the only people that even died during the pandemic were very old and people that had a chronic degenerative condition already. That's what happened. It's scientific fact. And now the World Health Organization is coming out with a statement that just about blew my socks off. And the reason it did is because they're finally admitting. And listen to their quotes. First time in history, and largely preventable conditions. Now, let me continue with this statement. Okay? Chronic degenerative diseases are largely preventable and powerfully linked to lifestyle choices. You ready for this part? Are you ready? Diets higher in sugar and carbohydrates, coupled with a lack of physical activity, are strongly related to an increased risk for some of the most common degenerative conditions, like, okay? If you wondered what chronic degenerative conditions are, here's what they say. Like type 2 diabetes, obesity, coronary heart disease, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. Now, folks, I didn't say that. Well, yes, I have. But they're saying it. The World Health Organization. Guys, this is significant. It's unreal. And it tells us we're on the right track. Now, you know the way I operate, okay? You know the way I operate. My goal with my audience is to educate you. And, I used to do it on my radio show. I educate my audience. And now I've got a much bigger audience. And my raison d'être, okay, the reason that I'm so vocal and like a one-track mind is because I'm trying to get you guys to understand why. In this day and age, here we are in 2023, and why in the heck are we so unwell? Not you, but the world out there. The World Health Organization, they're cluing in. Okay? They're cluing in. It's lifestyle. It's not a virus. It's not a bacteria. It's not war. All those things are no good. Okay? It's not trauma. It's, like people still die today from car accidents and violence and yeah. And I don't minimize that. But what's preventable? And that's what they're using. Largely preventable. I like that. Okay? I like that. It's lifestyle. And can I quote to you what I brought to you? This is what, you have to understand where I come from, okay? Because I tell this to my grandchildren. Grandpa, born in the days of Noah, used to have cookies and ice cream too, okay? In case you didn't think they were invented. Yes, they were there. Cookies and ice cream. But, listen to what I'm going to say. In 2 weeks, give or take a little bit of time, but let's say 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, our generation, and I mean our kids' generation, my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, okay? Their generations eat more sugar in 2 weeks than what we used to eat in the 1950s when I was born. In 2 weeks. We consume 25 pounds. Canadians, Americans, consumed 25 pounds in the 1950s of sugar a year. Now that's still a lot of sugar. You ever seen a 25-pound bag? Now it's 200 pounds. It's a dump truck load. And then never you mind what they did to oils. I'm not even talking about that, but let me just gloss over it because it's not mentioned here. Okay? And that is when we changed the oil. What do I mean by that? We changed the fat. When we went from eating butter to margarine. Everything in the grocery store. What is it? What did I say the other day? Like about 33,000 items. And if you go through the middle aisles of your grocery store, from cookies to crackers to ketchup to whatever else is in those middle aisles of your grocery store, it's all made with seed oils, which is, okay, oils like canola and soy and all these seed, they call vegetable oils. And what am I saying? Those oils were made for your car. They're highly processed. They're industrialized. And every time you go to a fast food place, or even almost any restaurant, they cook, and the oil is bad enough, peanut oil and this and that, it's bad enough on its own, but when they reheat it, and they cook the French fries, and the chicken nuggets, and whatever else they put in those fryers, ooh, see, I told my grandchildren, they laugh at Grandpa, okay? And that's fair game. You know when you get old? I know they love me, but they laugh. I said, listen, when we were kids in the 1950s, there was no McDonald's. What? Grandma? Nah. In the days of Noah, there was not McDonald's. I said the first fast food that ever came in Timmins, Ontario, where I was born and raised, was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I know McDonald's, they actually used to use good oils until the oil police got a hold of them. You're cooking your fries in tallow, and that's full of saturated fat. That's no good for you. You got to use polyunsaturated fat, like canola, Canada's gift, that's destroyed more lives, and soy oil, and all these seed oils. Terrible stuff. Procter and Gamble, Crisco. That stuff's meant for your car, my friend. And we all know the story that they actually ran a jumbo jet on that. On that fuel. It worked. But you see, guys, what happened, and this is why I'm so passionate. This is why, yeah, Dr. Martin, is that all he ever talks about? Is eggs, meat, and cheese? Is that all he ever does? Yeah, some of you have said that. Doesn't he have anything else to talk about? Well, I do. But science is finally catching up to what you and I know. What is it? It's sugar. Imagine, there's not a medical school in North America. You would think it would be on day one of medical school. It's not even in the curriculum of certified dietitians. You think it would be day one. That, hold on here. And I've been saying this to you guys for a long time, haven't I? Sugar is so toxic to your body that you have an organ dedicated to getting it out of your bloodstream. Remember my little analogy? You can literally eat 20 donuts. Don't do it, but people have done it. You can have 20 donuts, and within about an hour or two, depending on your metabolism, your blood sugar will come back to normal range. It'll skyrocket. If you have oatmeal, listen to what I'm going to say. If you have a bowl of oatmeal, how can this be good for you? Think about it for a minute. Your blood sugar will rise to about 20. To my American friends, that's 200. It'll rise to 20. But because your body is so fearfully and wonderfully made, your body is smart. It says, I can't leave sugar in the bloodstream. Why? Because sugar is toxic. Sugar is toxic to blood vessels. It destroys blood vessels. Ask any diabetic. Ask them about their eyes. I mean, I'm talking about a diabetic, okay? You know, that has type 2 diabetes, or even type 1. But type 1 is autoimmune. It's not their fault. Okay? Now, ask any diabetic, what are you worried about? Losing my legs? Losing my kidneys? Losing my eyesight? It's all circulation. It's all circulation. And then, of course, they're at, and this is really the background of the study, of the statement, I mean, by the World Health Organization. This leads to, food leads to the choices we make, and if they're bad ones, lead to chronic diseases, which is the number one killer in our society today. Beats infection. It beats trauma. It beats accidents. It beats, you name it. Yep. That's why I'm so passionate. Because somebody asked me the other day, it was a good point. Doc, what about moderation? I said, what about it? What about moderation? And people have that ingrained in their noggins. Moderation. Because it comes from the food industry. You need all food groups. Ask any dietitian. Ask any nutritionist even. Most of them. Ask them all. Oh yeah. Well, you need moderation. That's the way to live. No, we live in a different world, like I said. We went from 25 pounds to 200 pounds. That's just sugar. That's not even talking about these, these crappy carbohydrates. We don't need moderation. We need elimination. I'm an elimination guy. I'm an elimination guy. I'm not a carnivore. Okay, people accuse me of that all the time. Dr. Martin, he's a carnivore. No, I'm not. I'm a nutrivore. What's a nutrivore? good food. No crap. Okay? We live in a different world. We have to make an adjustment. We have to understand where we're at. And listen, there's no guarantees, but, you know, people today, I'm not kidding you, they're playing Russian roulette with a loaded gun. 5 out of, is there 6 chambers in a gun? You know, what's the old story? 6 chambers, right? And 5 of them got bullets in. And they just go, whoosh, whoosh, and, you know, because everything's loaded against us because of our lifestyle choices. And here's what the World Health Organization said too, our sedentary lifestyle. Yeah, big factor for sure. You know me and vitamin E. I love vitamin E. I love exercise. I know it's significant. I know it's important. I do. I've been preaching that for 50-something years. Okay? So they say that's sedentary lifestyle, but primarily food. Okay? Primarily our choices we make. And it's not that complicated. See, people are confused because I see that all the time, even on our Facebook group, okay? And you guys are the smartest bears, and I mean it. But you'll see it, then you people come on and go, I'm confused. Doc, I'm confused because my doctor. And guys, I love your doctor. Okay? I do. I mean it. I'm a lover. No, really. I don't hate your doctor. They're just poorly trained. They don't know anything about nutrition. Imagine going to medical school and you got the best intentions in the world. You want to dedicate your life. You want to dedicate your life to people, and you want to become a medical doctor. Beautiful, wonderful. And then you get to medical school, and medical school has been hijacked. 2 things. Hijacked. Medical school has been hijacked by Big Pharma. Okay? And big food. There's 8 to 10 huge conglomerate food companies that run all the food in the world pretty well. And they're in cahoots with the pharmaceutical industry because they want to sell you sugar, crappy carbohydrates, very inexpensive high fructose corn syrup as sugar, and very inexpensive oils that preserve everything, that are, and then so the mantra is, okay, low fat. And if you're going to use fat, make sure it's monounsaturated fat. Because saturated fat is the boogeyman. Saturated fat like butter, bacon, that'll kill you. It'll give you cholesterol. Listen, day one in medical school. Here's the boogeymans. You got to understand it. Even in 2023, Day one in medical school, you start learning. Cholesterol is bad. It's bad. Therefore, why would you want butter when you can have no cholesterol vegetable oils like margarine, even today? Okay? Cholesterol is bad. Cholesterol causes heart disease. Okay? You'll never hear in medical school that sugar has anything to do with cancer. None. Zero. Nada. Sugar and cancer? Oh, that's Dr. Martin and his quack friends. Right? 3, the sun is the boogeyman. It's another boogeyman, the sun. Stay out of the sun. The sun's bad. No, that's what they learn. You know, wear sunscreen. Don't get any, the sun's cancer. And for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, it's the same old story. And the World Health Organization is now saying something different. They're getting the memo from the Martin Clinic. They probably still think I'm crazy. Okay? But all I'm saying to you, think about it. Think about it. People have been duped because in the higher echelon, in medicine, in big pharma, I'm not saying they don't do good things. You get hit by a truck, you need medicine. Okay? You need good doctors and you need good drugs. Okay? Like an antibiotic. Hello? Okay? You get it? That's all right. That's what medicine should be. For trauma, and you have an infection, and it's raging. Okay? Their prevention is, and they did one good thing. Medicine, I give them credit. They told people to stop smoking. After Camel cigarettes when you're doctor. I mean it. Okay, when I was a kid, I'm telling my grandchildren. Okay, when I played hockey, we'd have 3,000 fans in the 60s in our stands, and you could barely see. There was so much smoke in the arena, and I'm not kidding you. Okay? My dad used to smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day. Until he found out smoking causes cancer. And my dad went, whoop, in the garbage. Never had another cigarette, cold turkey. I said to my dad, what am I supposed to smoke? Not that I really never did like it. My brother cured me of smoking, okay? My oldest brother, David. When I was about 10, I think, okay? He made me inhale. He said, you'll like it. Inhale a cigar. I was so sick for, 20 minutes or whatever. I just was puking. He made me inhale it. He said, you'll like it. And you know what he told me afterwards? He said, he was a smoker. He said, I don't want you to ever smoke. That was good. I learned a lesson. I never liked smoking. Okay? Like, isn't that what big brothers are for? But guys, this is where we're at. Doesn't this story, doesn't what the World Health Organization just pump up your tires today? That we're on the right track? And they're talking about cancer, and they're talking about coronary. Imagine the World Health Organization is not talking cholesterol per se. I mean, they might still believe it. I don't know. But they're talking about food and lifestyle choices. I love it. I love it. I'd love to them to invite me to give a lecture to all the doctors, and I will give them a history of nutrition. When you look at the history of nutrition, it tells you what happened and why. That's what I did my thesis on. I'm a history buff. The history of food. Okay. I need to breathe. I'm glad I don't have one of those watches that tell me to breathe. I don't like that. Okay. Okay, take a deep breath. Okay. Guys, enjoy your week. We're going to have a great week, okay? I got some study, a new study. New study just came out on vitamin D again. New study that just came out, you're going to love this one, on DHA. New study. Canadian study. Okay. And I got a new study on adrenal glands. This one was very interesting to me. And I want to unpack it for you. And we'll probably do it this week. Okay? So stay tuned. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Tell everyone. Because you guys are on the right track, see? So tell your friends. Okay? Tell your friends. You got to listen, because you're going to get the other side. And God gave you a brain, and we're asking you to use it. We're getting you to think. We're not leaving our health to the medical profession. We're not leaving it to them. We're going to be proactive individually. Proactive. Okay? I'm big on that. Okay, guys. Love you. Talk to you soon.